what's up DIYers? Mike Boards with the Mike Boards channel. Thank you for watching. We just took delivery of our new children's bike and it is called the Donky Jr. We are going to assemble it. Let's get started.
All right, DIYers, everything out of the box. I got the bike and all the parts laying on the floor. We're going to get to work. These are the instructions, unfortunately. I went to them and they go to YouTube videos that aren't even this bike. So hopefully we're gonna help you get this put together. Fast forward a couple minutes and I've started unpackaging the bike. Do your absolute best to go slow as you remove the zip ties, tape, cardboard, etc. Some wrap around some very important parts. You want to be careful you don't scratch the paint nor cut any lines. That is your brake line. At this point, everything is unpackaged, and I think the hardest part so far was snipping these really thick zip ties. Next, I repositioned the bike as shown here, and I went and grabbed my Craftsman socket wrench set, and I'm going to use a T25. I'm going to loosen up this clamp here and shift the seat in and secure the seat. Once you get that loosened up, go ahead and carefully shift the seat in place, and the height will depend on the age of your child. Find that perfect spot and tighten down that T25 bolt to secure the seat in place. Seat is secured, and as I secured it, I also wanted to make sure that the seat itself was in line with the frame. From here, while the bike is still able to stand upright by itself, we are going to remove these top T40 bolts and insert and secure the handlebars. All 4 T40s have been removed, and something to take into consideration. As you remove these, you will notice they are greased, and you don't want that on your carpet or your clothes, so just be careful. And on the bottom side of this plate, it's also greased. Again, just be careful as you maneuver these parts and shift that handlebar in place. Take into consideration as well the position of the brake lines, and it will shift right into place right here. And I want you to see how the brake lines are positioned. As you can see here, the right side brake line loops down and to the left side of the frame, and the left side brake loops down and over the frame to the right. And carefully grab that plate, rest it on top, and secure all 4 of those T40 bolts. From here, I've got the bolts hand tightened, and I have the handlebars themselves resting, and all I'm going to do is carefully tighten these handlebars down, and I will tighten them in a sequence from this bolt to this bolt to this bolt and then this bolt to properly seat and secure this plate. And as I get to the end, I'll carefully shift the handlebars up to the perfect location or position and secure those bolts all the way. And one last quick tip, you've got a splined or grooved portion of the bar. You want to shift that into position underneath that plate, so you should not see any of those grooves or splines. Do not over tighten it, but you want these snug, but do not over tighten them. To the front side, as I am securing that plate, you may need to switch to an Allen wrench because my socket and ratchet would not fit in between this gap here. To the front side, after securing those bolts, come to the front side and properly align your front fork in line with your frame and seat. On the back side after that, you've got 2 additional T40s. Go ahead and tighten those down. Again, do not over tighten these bolts. There's really no reason to do that. Coming to the side of the bike, it is time to install the pedals. I have positioned the sprocket as shown here. That gives me a better position to install these pedals. Do your absolute best not to cross thread this. Carefully align the thread and begin hand tightening the pedals in. And to tighten these pedals down in place, I found the 5/8 wrench to be the best fit. To the left side of the bike, and the pedals do have a correct position to be secured, and that position can be found on the inner portion of the stud. See that L? That will be the left-hand side, and the R will go on the right side. After securing the pedals, I have got the bike upside down, resting on the seat as well as the handlebars. Time to install the front tire. And pretty thick tire. Not going to fit between the brake pads. You actually have to loosen up this 3/16 hex nut here that secures your brake cable to the mount right here. It's going to allow you to expand this slightly, and you are going to rest the inner portion of the wheel into these slots here. And you may need to loosen up these 5/16 nuts on each side. There we go. Now we can slide the tire through the space between the pads. Still a tight fit, and you may need to release some air. Carefully. Do not damage that internal stem. Tire's on, and as I shifted this in place, I did have to carefully pinch in on the rubber portion of the tire to squeeze it through the brake pads. Secure your 5/16 nuts up top to secure the wheel to the frame or fork. Back to the brake cable, you see the little indent here. I'm going to shift this back together, and as I do that, I'm going to position it in the exact same place the cable is bent or crimped, and I'm going to secure that 3/16 bolt. Brake cable is now tightened down and the entire wheel is secured. Give it a good spin. As you spin it, you will notice these little rubber frays here will pass through the brake pad area. They will make a sound, and it should not be rubbing on anything. Go ahead and push the brake and make sure it is working as designed. And that is perfect. And you want a good tight brake handle. Check that out. Perfect. Here it is, DIYers, the finished product. That was a pretty friendly DIY build. And I also installed the rear reflector. I positioned it up flush to the bottom portion of the lower seat, and I installed the padding up front that has the name, and on the right side, check out this little bell. Perfect. And the front reflector, as you can see here, you can do what you want with it, install it wherever you want on the upper frame here. And that is it, DIYers. Hopefully this helps. Hey, do us a favor, below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We would really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. And check out the links down below in the comments section, as well as the description section, where we show the Strider bikes.